get around people that are in shape, you'll just naturally pick up their habits and you'll get in shape. But if you're hanging around people that are drinking on the weekends and having pizza and watching the ball game, and there's nothing wrong with any of that, but it's going to be hard for you to be super disciplined when you're in that type of environment. What's up, guys? Are you struggling to eat healthy without overcomplicating it? Here's the simplest meal plan to stay fit with no guesswork and no stress. Most people fail at meal plans because they're too restrictive or they're too complicated. Here's some simple ways to actually have a clean diet without it being too restrictive and actually get results that you need. For me, it comes down to eating single ingredient foods. That's 95% of my diet, and it makes it super easy for me to stay on track. And the reason being is I'm not taking in all these excess calories and the sugar by eating whole food, single ingredient foods. So having single ingredient foods makes it super easy, right? And so a lot of people struggle with this, and it's because they're eating out, a lot of different places through the day. They're having lunch meetings, dinner meetings and whatnot. And that does make it a little more difficult, right? To make the right decisions. But if you can stick to single ingredient foods, you don't really have to count calories. I don't personally count or track my calories, but I eat when I'm hungry, and I'm always eating whole foods, right? So if you're doing this, and just make sure that every meal that you actually include a protein, and then you can have a carbohydrate or fat with the other meals. For me, that's the simplest way of actually dialing in your meal plan without having to punch anything into an app to count your calories and do all that nonsense. I've never done that ever before at all. And I just find it just easier when I'm eating whole single ingredient foods. Most people struggle with the nutritional side. Most people can go to the gym and get a workout in, they struggle with the food. And it's because they're in the environments that are dictating what they're gonna eat, right? And for me, I try to only be in an environment that is what I wanna do. If you're gonna go eat out a lot and you wanna go out on the weekends and party with your friends, it's gonna be very difficult for you to get in phenomenal shape. I'm not going to places to where I'm not gonna be able to eat the type of food that I want. And I don't hang around people that don't want to eat that way. And that's, that might sound harsh for some people, but for me, that's just how I live. I literally do not hang around people that don't want to live and be healthy. So when we go out to eat, we're not going to, fast food restaurants. Like, we're going to nice places where we can get a nice steak or a piece of fish and some vegetables, and it makes it so much easier when you're around people that are like-minded. If you get around people that are in shape, you'll just naturally pick up their habits and you'll get in shape. But if you're hanging around people that are drinking on the weekends and having pizza and watching the ball game, and there's nothing wrong with any of that, but it's going to be hard for you to be super disciplined when you're in that type of environment. And what I found for me is I just don't put myself in those environments. It's at the end of the day, you guys are trying to get in shape. Why are you actually trying to get in shape? You want more confidence. You want to feel better. You want to look better. You want your relationships to be more meaningful. Well, if that's what you want, then you need to act and behave as you're that person already. And when you act and behave as you're that person, then you just don't do certain things that you're doing currently. And that's what it comes down to. People say you want to get in shape, but you're doing things that people that are in shape don't do. And so it just doesn't align. So you have to get serious about what it is that you want. What's your identity going to be? What are the type of people you're going to hang around? And that makes it so much easier. Hey guys, real quick, if you have any questions or need anything, all you got to do is text the number below. Most people are going in a business meeting to a decent restaurant where you can get a piece of fish, a piece of chicken, a salad. Maybe it's not perfect, but I think a lot of times you guys use that for an excuse to eat like your old self because you're out with friends and you don't want to be uncomfortable. And that's just a mindset shift that you have to make. And it really comes down to you just don't value your health and your fitness as much as you say you do, because what you value, you actually do. And so for me, that's why it's not difficult at all for me to stay on track all year round, because it's my identity, number one, and it's what I value. I don't value the other things that most people do on a regular basis. The reason it's difficult for you to get in shape is because you don't value that yet. You value making money. That's why you're going to the meetings. You value these things, and that's why you do them. You start to value your health and your fitness and understand the impact that it actually makes when you actually change your body and your mindset changes and everything else gets better. You just got to get to that point. And, because motivation doesn't work, it comes and goes. Discipline is the thing that's keeping you from where you're at to where you want to be. It's as simple as that. And again, discipline's hard when you don't value something. You know, it's difficult. And that's why you see people, they'll start and then they stop. They start a new program and they're not getting results in 90 days. And they're like, well, this is not working. When in fact, it's you that are not working, because all plans work if you follow them to some degree. But you can't just start a plan and expect to get amazing results when you've been eating like garbage for the past 20 years. It just doesn't work that way. It needs to become your identity. It needs to become your lifestyle, and you need to find people that align with that. When I go to a business meeting, as I do now, that is not a reason for me to have something that I don't normally eat. I don't even understand when people say that. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it's because you don't value that. You know, you don't value being in shape yet. And until you do, it's gonna be very difficult. There's meal prep services. There's like, maybe you plan on the weekend and prep your food for the week. I mean, it takes work to get in shape and to be what most people aren't willing to do. Like, that's just the reality of it, right? So it's not gonna be easy at first if you're not used to doing, but over time, it does get easier, and it becomes, again, who you are and your identity. And it's no different than you picking up something bad to eat. Like, just make healthy choices. And I think, again, whether you have the food prepped or not, if you're going to eat, just make healthy choices. Plan ahead, prepare it depending on your schedule. Maybe you hire someone to come over and cook your food, or you do it on Sunday afternoon to get prepared for the week. Or again, just when you do eat, just make different decisions. I think, again, people have this conception, like, because it's not prepped out and measured out, that it's an excuse just to eat. Well, if that's not there, I'm just gonna go eat the cheeseburger and have the fries. And I think people literally like use that for an excuse. Whereas if you just make better decisions, no matter where you're going, at most places nowadays, even fast food, you can get generally something that's, you know, you can get the grilled chicken instead of the fried chicken. Not get the fries, get a salad. Is it gonna be perfect? Is it gonna be as good as home? Is it as high quality? No, but it's better than doing the fries and the fried chicken. You know, so I think it's just getting your head wrapped around and just make better decisions. And if you really want to get in shape, then you have to prepare. Just like in your business or your career, if you want to be good, you got to put the work in. You know, it's not going to be easy, especially at first, but what's worth having is not going to be easy. And that's why most people they're out of shape, especially when you get over 40, you know, and they use that for an excuse. I'm over 40, I'm married, I have kids, you know, they have all these reasons and excuses on why they're fat and overweight. And it's just simply because you haven't become that person yet. When you become that person, you start making different decisions. We are today the decisions that we've been making over the years, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually. It doesn't matter. It works for all of that, right? It's where you're at today is because of the habits that you've had. Stick to this for 30 days and you'll see the difference with no complicated diets needed. Drop meal plan in the comments and I'll send you a free guide. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who actually needs it.